It's not just that aligning gives us energy, not being aligned costs us energy. Driving in that rut, if you're not, you can be not perfectly aligned. It is not horrible. It's even pretty easy, but it's not as easy as when you're straight down the middle.
And that authenticity, as I like to say, let your freak flag fly. Now, anyone who is poor, debtor, dreamer, or an accumulator, they always think that once they get all the money, then everything's gonna be okay. I categorize people as there's the poor, debtors, dreamers, accumulators, and rich but empty. Now, anyone who is poor, debtor, dreamer, or an accumulator, they always think that once they get all the money, then everything's gonna be okay. And then I have this category that's called rich but empty because they get there, they're financially independent, and there's still something missing every time. And that's why they're rich but empty. And that's because they didn't fully align with themselves. And in that alignment, then it's about embodying what I call real wealth. And you don't have to wait until you're wealthy to get there. You can be that all along the way, which actually will get you to be wealthy faster because you are operating from a place that makes you happy. Because you're happy because it's fully supporting you and who you are and what you want to be and do in the world, why you were put on the planet in the first place. And that authenticity, as I like to say, let your freak flag fly. That's a phrase that let your freak flag fly. Be who it is that you are meant to be and don't apologize. And be that in every facet of the world.
Yes.
And that's what then results in happiness all along the way, no matter how many zeros are in your checking account.
Absolutely. I always say that whoever you are, the world is clamoring to have you in their life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And to whatever extent we're not aligned, it's not just that aligning gives us energy, not being aligned costs us energy. So it's not when we're aligned, we're in the truck. And if you've ever driven backcountry roads that are ruts there's a way to go that will let you go smoothly along that road. You are aligned with that road. And if you're outside the least bit of that, it's a lot harder to drive and it wreaks havoc on your suspension. And we think about being aligned.
Totally agree.
We think about being aligned as this is where things are smooth and easy, and we forget about the cost from not being aligned. It's not just that we feel better when we're aligned. We're saving so much in so many different ways.
Well, we choose our suffering patterns, and I don't think we realize how much we create them by not driving in the right place of the road. And when you're not being 100% yourself, let's just say you put up with a lot of junk from a boss, if you will. Someone who kind of has the same patterning as one of your parents. I see that often. And then you're reinforcing your suffering patterns of being a victim or scarcity, and you're in survival mode. It's familiar. That's why you do it, because you're familiar with it. But it's about becoming conscious, going, you know what? This is the same thing, and I don't want to do this anymore, because that's the light bulb that you're repeating patterns. And it's like, get to that part of the road that is smooth sailing. So it goes back to what we talked about earlier about setting intentions, that I have people even map out, like, tell me what the coworkers in your new job are like. Tell me what the teamwork is like. Tell me what the travel is like. Tell me what your freedom in terms of working from home or going to the office looks like. Because I want you to map out exactly what you want in that job. Like, I just had another client who got laid off, and she goes, I can't believe I got laid off again. And the one thing, everything else aligned in this job, except for one thing that was on her list. And it was, they wouldn't give her the title of Chief Marketing Officer. And they said, you know, we just in a small organization, we really don't have that title, and they completely BS'd her because 3 weeks after she was hired, they hired somebody in that spot. They just wanted to get her cheaper. But she negotiated one of her intentions away, so she was not being authentic because she knew she had the expertise to be the CMO. She was paid like a CMO at the lower end of a CMO, but it was still in that range, right? So she justified it to her brain. And then, because it wasn't aligned, she finds herself 12 months later, they've decided to move on. After they got all of her ideas out of her, told her it's their proprietary stuff, they completely pulled the rug out from underneath her. And she's kicking herself because it's like the fourth time she's done it. And she thought this time she had it licked. But she left that one thing out that was important to her because it wasn't perfectly aligned with who she is. And she knew what those intentions were with what she wanted in a new job. And so this is how it can creep up on us in these small little ways, and we don't realize how it's this one little tweak and we've, turned ourselves a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Driving in that rut, you can be not perfectly aligned. It is not horrible. It's even pretty easy, but it's not as easy as when you're straight down the middle.
Exactly. Like it just doesn't have to be as bumpy as we choose for it to be often.
It doesn't.
That's why people say, well, it's good enough.
And we often think about ruts as confining, but they're also freeing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those ruts are deep enough that you do not have to steer because the road is steering. Those ruts are steering for you. You might as well be on a railroad track.
Right.
And there's always a way to get out of that rut and into another one that fits you better. Whether that's...
Oh, no doubt.
That might be by changing tires that are so fat, none of the ruts are going to fit. And you can go wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be by lifting up and moving into a different rut. Or it might be just leaving that car behind because it doesn't fit you any more than the rut does anymore. And buying an airplane or going cross-country skiing or just choosing another car in a different set of ruts to take you a different place.
Correct. And that's where we repeat our patterns from our childhood.